Veteran Trash Talk, we actually vet our sponsors. We don't just take their money and run like a butter bar lieutenant lost on a land nav course. Are you finally ready to plant your flag and claim your territory? Maybe it's time to use that VA loan to buy a home. Or hell, maybe you're looking to refinance and put some extra cash in your pocket for more questionable life decisions. Either way, the Veterans Mortgage Source, powered by Canopy Mortgage, has your six. Look, buying a home or refinancing can feel like getting overrun on a bad op. Chaotic, confusing, and full of obstacles that make no damn sense. That's where Corey and his team come in. They're like the QRF of home loans, ready to pull you out of the chaos and guide you to the best program for you. And trust me, they'll answer all your questions. Yeah, even the dumb ones. Whether you're a salty vet or fresh out of barracks still trying to figure out where your TA-50 went. Great service, solid rates, and a team that actually understands the military life. That's why all of us here at Veteran Trash Talk trust them to do right by every veteran in their family. Ready to lock it in? Give Corey a call or shoot him a text at 808-699-7874. That's 808-699-7874. Don't wait. Unless you like overpaying and getting treated like an FNG. The Veterans Mortgage Source is powered by Canopy Mortgage, LLC. All loans are subject to credit and property approval.
Hey, what's up, Mental Health Nation? Hope everybody's having a great Wednesday. If you saw my quick promo that I just put out there a couple minutes ago, I guess you know what the show's going to be about. When life gets completely crazy and chaotic and totally nuts, and you think you're drowning and you can't get above water and blah, 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 blah. So we're going to talk about that tonight. Had a very busy day. We'll get into that. Lloyd had a great weekend with his baseball tournament. I'll also talk about that. I will show a video later and have him come on and talk about it. Take a deep breath. Before we get into all that, let's go around the horn here. So you got Reads Across America. You can scan that QR code, for those, $15, $20. You can donate money, for what they do during Memorial Day season. It's really for the holiday season, the way they memorialize the veterans. It's amazing what they do. They've been doing it for a very long time. And, what a great way to support the veteran community and support those families out there who've given all, or maybe some veterans out there who have moved on. If you do have a loved one or a friend that you want to memorialize, you can also personalize that wreath if you want. So scan that QR code. It's really great what they do for not only for, the veterans during the holiday season, but all year round. They do fundraisers all year round. So if you got a couple of change in your pocket and you want to do something good with it, donate to them. But along with that, Reads Across America Radio, we plays this podcast at Fridays at 8 p.m. and Sundays at 10 p.m. Super easy to find. I'm taking off my wrist bracelets. I'm tired of having them on. Super easy to find. I guess the universe is telling me I don't need to wear them anymore. But yeah, super easy to find. You can download the iHeartRadio app, the TuneIn app, or the Odyssey app, and you search for Reads Across America Radio. But that seems like a lot of work. If you want to do something more simpler, download the Reads Across America app. And then you don't have to do all the other ones. You don't have to search for nothing. Boom, bam, bam, beam. You got it. And so then you can listen to my podcast, all the great music. They really do wonderful things in supporting the veteran community out there with all the other podcasts they have out there. And so if you're a big podcaster and you like listening to podcasts, give them a look-see. And then you can maybe, if you miss mine, you want to catch a replay, you can do that. Hey, 10th Mountain Whiskey, I don't know what's going on. I bought back a lot of the little bottles, the airplane bottles, the nips with me. They keep disappearing out of my cabinet. I don't know what's going on. I'm going to put a lock on that. But hey, they got great whiskey, great bourbon. And so if you got a party coming up, celebrating your birthday, got some friends coming over, got a barbecue. I barbecued this weekend at Lloyd's baseball game. I won't get into that too much. Maybe next week's show, I'll get into that. I'll send some pictures. Maybe I'll make a quick video and show it. I did post a lot of things online. But they love the bourbon. The bourbon's good. So maybe if you're having a barbecue, order that 10th Mountain Whiskey Bourbon. We'll throw the QR code up there and a little the website and QR code saves you a little bit of money. But if you listen to the video before the podcast started, Veterans Mortgage, powered by Canopy Mortgage, they're more than happy to help with the VA loan. I had some questions about my VA loan the other day because, as you know, my house in Virginia is for sale, up for sale, and somebody was looking at it and wanted to know if my VA loan was assumable. I don't know if you guys know what that means. And so, of course, now I didn't call them. I had to call my lender because the only lender can answer these questions. I didn't know anything about this assumable loan. Of course, I'm not in default. I've never been late on a payment. People are interested in this because I have a very low interest rate on my loan. It's like 2.75%, and interest rates are now at 6%. And so what they're doing now, I guess, a lot of people is if you have a VA loan or a government-backed loan or a conventional loan, and just say you got it like I did many years ago, people are looking to assume those loans to get that lower interest rate. You kind of have to be careful about that. I'm going to go on a little tangent here. One, if you have a VA loan, you have to make sure that they're a veteran, because if they're not a veteran and they have a conventional loan, they can tie up your VA benefit for the life of that loan. So if you go to veteran and they have their veteran VA approval letter, bam, bam, boom, they just take their VA and then they give your VA back to you and you can use it to buy another home. If you're not planning on using your VA again, then you can do it the other way. I highly suggest you don't do that. But before you do anything, you have to call your lender to find out if your loan is assumable or not. And that's what I did the other day and find out it was. So they weren't a veteran. They didn't have a VA letter. So to me, it's a non-starter. And then if you're selling your house for more than what you owe on it, obviously I am, then what you have to do is they'll have to take out a second or come up with the cash on hand to make the difference up in the loan. So, hey, you know what? If you got any questions just like that, just like what I covered, give them a look. See, they're more than happy to help you out. And you know what? You got PCS Paradise. If you're still active duty and you're looking at being stationed in Hawaii, it is PCS season. Scan that QR code. They'll be more than happy to help find out, maybe you'll find your dream home in Hawaii station there. And they'll be more than happy to help you. And they'll do it. If you're going to Hawaii, first of all, kudos, bravo. I never got to go to Hawaii when I was in the service. I got to go fun places like Fort Campbell, Kentucky. Ooh. And Bangor, Maine, and back to Fort Campbell, Kentucky, and sometimes if we get lucky, we go to Camp Crowder, Missouri. You can look that up; it's in Neosho, and we didn't go to Germany though a couple of times, so I guess it wasn't all bad. But anyway, I digress. So, if you listen to my promo today, you know that I've had a very, 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 very chaotic day, and I took some notes, and I'm going to bring up my notes here because if I don't, I'm tired. And you guys do know that with my TBI, when I get tired, my brain gets scrambled. And so it was very important about things that I want to talk about tonight. And so I took some notes. And so I want to make sure that I don't leave anything out, because I just think it's important, not only for me, but also for the listeners out there. You guys are taking time out of your day. You're wanting to listen to me, wanting to hear me talk. Why, I have no idea. But thank you for that. And so I want to give you something, obviously, that you can use throughout the day. As you guys know, along with Clifford Ballman LLC, where I do go out and do speaking events, I also started this year with Pepe, Cru Dolce Vita. And Cru Dolce Vita is a touring company that I started with him. And we do tours of Napoli, which that's what we did today. We actually had about a 5-hour tour. We go through downtown Napoli, Naples. And we start out with a walking tour. Then after the walking tour, we do lunch. And then after lunch, we go to different areas so you can take photos and have gelato. And then another place, they make brooches out of carved seashells. They've been around since 1922. And so we kind of wrap up there, and then I take it back. It's door-to-door service. So it's been very busy, kudos, which I'm happy about that because you never know. I'm in a foreign country. I started a new business, and so you never know how it's going to go. But you can only give it 110%, right? When you start a new company, it's nerve wracking, it's crazy, but you got to give you 110%. And it started out really, really slow, but we're getting busy. But surprisingly, here in support site where I live, Navy support site, that what people are PCSing from the base to back to America or from America back here to Italy, vice versa. They don't have like a duty van or somebody to take these people back and forth to the airport. Now, if you're leaving Italy and going back home, you've already shipped your car by the time you're this point, and now you're trying to carry all the luggage and get to the airport. Where if the person who you're calling to transport you can't come on to support site, which most Italians can't, then you have to drag your luggage off base. And the most luggage I put in my van was 21 bags. And so you're going to drag those 21 bags off base. And so I really saw a need. And so I changed up Crudo Trevita because that's what you do with your business. That's how you become successful. And so now we're offering PCS airport runs. And that's really been, we've been really busy with that. It really helps out families, makes their life a lot stressful because I can drive on base and pick them up at the hotel. We can load the van and take him directly to the airport, or vice versa. I can pick him up from the airport and bring it back. As a matter of fact, Friday I have a run where I'm going to the airport to pick up people and bring them back to the base here. And so don't if you start a new business or if you're in your own business, don't be afraid to branch out and do other things. The tours were, they were coming in bits and bobbles, but the airport runs have really been lucrative for us right now. And I charge all USD. I don't. Everything's paid through my American company, and so it makes it all very easy for those people who are traveling. And because it's very stressful, right? Anybody who's in the military knows PCSing is a very stressful time, not only for you but also for your family members. And so, at least if anything, I can make that a little bit less stressful for the families. And so, you guys do know that I talked about it. Lloyd did have a baseball tournament this weekend in Fano, Italy, and I'll write that out. I'll type that out. Fano. Look it up. Fano, Italy. Absolutely amazingly beautiful place. That's not that touristy. I didn't really see a lot of tourists there, and I mean Italian tourists, but not American tourists or other country tourists. They might have been there. I just didn't see them. But what an amazing, magical, beautiful place! And I posted about it online, and you can go online and my social media and look at it. But what was amazing about this place is one, it's on the Adriatic Sea, so it's on the other side. But as you're driving across the, at least about 4 hours, 4.5 hours through the mountains and up and over, you get closer to Fano, and then you start seeing fields and fields and fields of sunflowers. I've never seen fields of sunflowers like that. Like as far as the eye can see, a sunflower field. That's pretty amazing to look at. And then some of them you could see that the flowers hadn't bloomed yet, but you could tell they were sunflowers. So that's pretty amazing to see. But in Fano, it's kind of like Amsterdam. Everybody rode bikes everywhere, but the beaches were beautiful. It wasn't too busy. You always had a sea breeze. The temperature was in the mid 80s all the time, so it was very relaxing. But Lloyd played 6 baseball games this weekend: 2 on Friday, 2 on Saturday, 2 on Sundays, and so that kept us all tied up. And one thing I did while I was in Fano is I was new to this traveling baseball team. Lloyd got drafted, if you will, by Caserta Rigi. I'm pronouncing that wrong. Sorry for that. How do they play? Raja, Rigay? I don't know. Anyway, I'll get it figured out. Anyway, so he's been on the team for about 2 weeks, and he's done really well. He's really improved. And good evening. How's it going? And so they had a tournament this weekend. They played a lot of games. Lloyd did really very well. But I wanted to introduce the parents to tailgating, right? Tailgating is not a thing they do, and they don't understand it. So I'm like, great. This is first game. It's 4 hours away. I rented a BMW station wagon, so we're driving up there, and you know what? I'm going to teach them how to tailgate. So what did I do? I made barbecue ribs. I had hamburgers and hot dogs, and I made about 5 pounds of barbecue beans. Now, barbecue sauce is my own private barbecue sauce I made. And I pre-cooked the ribs. Then I finished them off on the grill up there. So I brought my grill. I set it up. I cooked it, cooked all the food, and of course, all the people who weren't part of our team, they were all looking over, and some of the other kids were coming over with plates to try to get some of the food. And of course, we had to shoot them away because we have to feed our team first, and then afterwards, we had some left over, and we let them have some. But then I introduced them to American bourbon because we can't have a Yinling beer. Buy some Yinling beer because I don't drink Budweiser, and so it was a great time. They got the taste and get a sample taste of what it was like to tailgate. It was a lot of fun, and they loved the food. I know they loved the food because I'm a good cook. And so we did that Friday night, and so Saturday after the games, we were at the beach. We took the boys to the beach to give them a break after the two games because they had a couple of tough losses, and they were like, "Cliff, come here, come here. What do you think if you could cook again tonight, barbecue again tonight?" And I was like, "Well, I only bought a little bit of gas with me, but if I got enough, sure, we could try it." So we go to the store, and prosciutto, and I don't know if you guys ever done this, but you can Google it or AI it. So what you do is you take brie and you wrap it in prosciutto, and then you grill it, and then you serve it with, either dates or grapes, or you can have a jam like a fig jam that you can serve it with, and you can use crackers, or I grilled pita bread, and so that became the appetizer. Now for Italians, this is something very new. It's not what they used to, and they loved it. And then I just bought some thin cut chicken and made quick barbecue chicken, and after that I made steaks. And they all sit around and still had some bourbon left, and we all joked, and I cooked again. It was a lot of fun, and they really enjoyed it. And so I've introduced them now to tailgating. It's important, right? They teach me their culture, I teach them American culture. And the funny thing is, okay, so you guys have all seen the huge shout out to the USA soccer team. I know they lost the other day, but you know what? We did very well in the tournament. It was great to see that. But everybody that's been coming to America to watch the soccer games, they've been talking about ranch dressing, the American ranch dressing, which anybody who lives in America knows is horrible because it's got all the genetic modified products and it's not good for you. And so, for a joke at the barbecue, I bought a bottle of American ranch dressing because we can get it here at the commissary. And one of the parents that were there, of course, they're eating my food. But one of the kids who were older said, "Hey, is this the ranch dressing I've been seeing on the internet?" I was like, "Yeah." And so, they put a little dabble on their plate, and then they, very attentively look at it, and they dip their finger in it, and then they lick their tongue, and like, do you see the look on their face is pretty good. And so it turned into they put it on their hamburgers, they put it on everything on their plate, and then when they ran out of food to eat, they just put it on their plate and was eating it. It was quite funny to see. Just kind of what you see on the internet. And so I told the kid he could have the bottle of ranch, he could take it home, and I said, "Hey, if you need any more, let me know." And so if you're listening to this and you're in Italy or you're in Germany or England or somewhere in a European country and you got your fix for ranch, hit me up in the DMs. I might be able to, you know, work out a plan to get you some. I might have to start bootlegging ranch over here. I'm joking. Okay, I'm joking, people. I have to joke because my schedule has been absolutely insane, and I'm surprised that I'm still laughing and joking about it. So I touched on it earlier today. Kudo to Dolce Vita. We had a tour today. It's about a 5.5 hour tour. Got done with that tour. We dropped them off at Lago Patria, and then right after that, we immediately drove to Caserta because Lloyd had a game today. And so Lloyd played very well. He played catcher today, and then they wind up winning the game, the last inning. They were down by one, and they wind up scoring a run. Lloyd did hit a home run. And so then after that, of course, I rush home. Of course, now I'm on the podcast, obviously, because you guys see me talking right now on the podcast. But in between all of that, tomorrow we have movers showing up because we're moving to our new house in Lago Patria. And so I'm going to finish the podcast around midnight or so. It's going to take me, an hour probably to wind down because my brain's going 200 miles an hour. And I have to be up at 7 a.m. because the movers show up at 8 a.m. It's going to take them 2 days to move us. I don't think it'll take them 2 days, but they said 2 days. And so it's been just been totally chaotic. It's been totally at times I felt very, very overwhelmed. And I know people out there have felt like I do. You get very busy and then you feel broken, or you feel like you're not doing things, or something's not going right, or you don't understand, or you just feel like you just can't get ahead, right? You're always behind. You take 7 steps forward, but somehow you still feel like you're 8 steps back, right? So, and you just can't ever get ahead. And so, what can you do, or how can you keep yourself from being so busy, but allowing that become your identity? And so, well, what do you mean by that? Well, like with me, my life's very chaotic right now. I have a lot of things going on. I'm very stressed out. And but I know that once it all ends, this will go away and it'll subside. And so my life isn't going to always be this way. And it's not something I need to identify with. It's not something going on bad in my life or anything. It's just what my life is now. It's a snapshot of reality of my situation, right? But sometimes we get so wrapped up in that we don't realize it, that this is just a snapshot of what's going on now. And so when you're busy like that and you're crazy like that, you need to take time to breathe. You need to take time to, be mindful of your situation, be mindful of what's going on, and just, you know, take a break, ground yourself. Be grateful that you're busy and things are going on, right? I'm grateful that Kudo Trivita now is starting to make some money, and we're having a little bit of success with that. And so, yeah, it makes my life chaotic and it makes my life crazy, but it also makes me feel really good inside that I've started this business in a country that I wasn't born in. I've only lived here for 2.5 years. I haven't even been here 3 years yet. And it feels really good. And then, yeah, it's going to be crazy moving, but we're moving to a bigger place. We're moving to a place by the ocean. We're moving to a place with a pool. And so, even though things are bad now in a short couple of days, it's going to be a lot better. You have more space. You're going to actually have an office. You're going to, you know, be close to the beach where you like to be. And so, a little bit of gratitude of what's coming in the future, because you can see it, really helps and goes a long way. And another thing is when things are super chaotic and super stressful, and you just, right, in your brain, go for a walk. Just go do something to relax and take a deep breath. Tonight I'm having a beer during the show, and after the show I'm just gonna lay on the couch and be honest with you, I'm just gonna veg out and watch something stupid probably on YouTube, something restoring cars or something, but just something uh, to take my mind off everything. Right, I need to wind down before I go to bed. And if it's during the day and you still got a lot of tasks going on, taking that 10-minute walk between tasks or between things you got to do kind of really helps reset your mind. And really, it can really help you. And the number one thing that you have to do, and I'm first to admit that I haven't been doing this, is protecting my sleep. And I haven't been doing that. You know, and that's very important that you need to do, especially if your life's very stressful and chaotic, is keeping your sleep schedule as close to possible, getting as much rest as possible. Now, even though I'm not sleeping maybe as long at night I should, but the whole 8 hour sleep thing never really flew with me, right? And I'm sure there's people out there listening that the same as I do. I don't really sleep 8 hours. And if I do sleep 8 hours, I wake up with a headache because I think it's too long for me. But now that a lot of studies are coming out now, and the scientists are talking about, well, that's not how our body's wired to do. We're wired to sleep 4 hours, wake up for a couple hours, eat and do whatever, and go back to sleep. But it's not 8 hours straight. That was developed by, I think, Stearns and Foster Mattress Company back in 1930 something. So that's just a new thing. And so if I get really tired during the day and I need to take a break, I just take a nap, right? I'll take a 15-minute nap, 20-minute nap. But those things can really help you keep moving forward, right? And then you need to keep your mind in a good state, right? And you need to learn how to shift through those tasks, right? And so a very simple rule to do is say, hey, for the next 5 minutes, I'm going to do this. For the next 5 minutes, I'm going to do that. And if you have a lot of tasks to do, I know with me, with my ADHD, for my TBI, traumatic brain injury, is I get scattered sometimes, right? And I'll never complete a task. And so I have to really focus on completing a task before I move on to another task. And when you're doing these things, it doesn't have to be perfect, right? It doesn't matter. And so when the movers show up tomorrow, yes, I didn't do my normal prep, but I didn't know how to prep because I've never moved with an Italian company before, so I don't know how they're going to do things. And when I called the guy, and he's like, "Yeah, we're going to show up," but I was calling him and asking him, "Are you going to pack everything out tomorrow, and then Friday deliver it to Lago Park to the new house?" That's how they do it in America, right? They pack out, and then the next day they load up, and then they move it. Well, he didn't really give me an answer, and he's like, "Well, no, we're going to load up and go to Lago Patria, come back and go back." So it's my understanding they're going to load the truck, drive to Lago Patria, unload it, and then come back and load more. I don't know if that's true or not. We'll wait and see, and I'll tell you next week how it went. Uh, but those things, I can't be too wrapped up in it. I can't get too run down by those things. So in my mind, what I came up with is, okay, what I'm going to do is I know in my new home where certain things need to go. So what I can do is make sure that I write on those boxes myself where those things do. So now in my mind, I'm already setting up a plan, right? An actual plan. And I do that because it helps me relax. So I know, okay, so the stuff upstairs, I'm going to take it down and go to the garage because I need to go through it. It doesn't necessarily have to go in the house at the new house. The stuff outside in the storage area, same thing. It can go to the garage and then get moved on. And so I'm just trying to lay out a very simple plan that may change. It's not set in stone. I know that. And, there it is. And so now I kind of have a plan in place. So when my mind was telling me, "Oh, you're not organized, you don't know what's going on, it's gonna be so chaotic," well, now I can say, "Okay, brain, no, I already came up with this plan. You know this because you're my brain, but quit telling me I didn't come up with a plan because I did." So one of the things in doing this is I need to help my sleep. So if I'm doing a brain dump like I am tonight on the show, then it helps me sleep better, right? But also, while going through all these chaotic stuff, and you have a lot of background noise going on, you need to learn to, say not right now, or I can't help you right now, or I need to finish this before I help you. And it doesn't necessarily have to mean you're talking to somebody. You could be talking to your brain, right? Because sometimes your brain can get you going in different directions that you don't want to be in. And, so sometimes you just have to say, "Hey, not now, not going on." And then, once you start doing that, that will help do your brain dump before you lay down and go to bed. Because what's going to happen if you don't do that? I'll tell you what happens to me. As I go to bed, I'm worn out, I'm tired. Oh, God, this bed feels so good. My back's relaxing. You feeling the pain go out. And then you lay there, and just about the time you're going to doze off, your brain kicks up and you start thinking about all the crap you got to do tomorrow that you didn't do tonight when you decided to go to bed. Because you didn't properly do a brain drop, can't talk, before you went to bed. Because then your body can't relax. It's always in a state of what's next, what's next, what's next, what's next. So it's important to do that brain drop, come up with a good plan for tomorrow so you can relax and so you can go to sleep. And the most important thing is to put your phone on Do Not Disturb, right? So you can get that time for that good rest. And you know as well as you do, if you have something going on in your family emergency, that you can, mark people a certain way. And even though you have your phone on Do Not Disturb, they can still ring through, or after 3 attempts, it'll ring through. And so, that's okay. And then let's say all that happens, and I get up the next morning and things just still didn't work out right. It's very chaotic, a lot of crap going on. And you're sitting in your car, you know what? Take 5 minutes and do some deep breathing exercises. And that will start relaxing your body. And then hopefully you can focus on things. Now, when you're having a chaotic life, things are being crazy and stupid and all over the place like I am today, like I'm being pulled in many different ways. Even if you don't think something good happened, I'm sure something good happened. And so I need to take those little wins I got during the day and celebrate it. Okay, so what's Cliff's good wins for the day? Well, we had a tour with Crew Dolce Vita. I still have to make a video for it, but I'll do it tomorrow with the people that do on tour. And the tour turned out to be really good. They enjoyed it. Their first time trip to Italy, so they got to have, not only get a taste of the culture of Italy, but also the joys of driving around Naples. And, they got to have good Italian food, so they got to experience that. And of course, Pepe's very good about explaining things and telling them, this is that and this is this. And so it was a very good evening for them, I think. And so they enjoyed the tour. Obviously, they gave us a good tip. And so you know what? That's a win. Even though it's very chaotic, I'm super tired. That's a win. So I made their second day in Italy very very memorable. Um, can't talk. Very memorable for them moving forward. And that's good. I like that. So that's a good win to have. And I dropped them off at 5:30, which in turn allowed me to drive another 20 kilometers and make it to Lloyd's baseball game before they started. That's another win. I was worried about that. And so I was able to make the baseball game. And then, I leave there. We stop, we eat at Burger King, which, Burger King's like McDonald's here. The food's a hell of a lot better than what it is in the States. And so we stopped there. We had a quick dinner. I really wasn't hungry. I was still full from lunch, but I ate a little something. Sorry, I just yawned. Um, and then we got home, and then before I started the podcast, and I was texting with Chris, we were able to organize and get some things done for tomorrow. And so, like all of our variables and all those things we don't want to pack, we started stacking up in an area that'll be the no-go area. And so, with that, all those things that I was thinking I was so far behind, now I'm getting a little bit ahead. And so now I feel better. It's a win. And you know what? Sometimes if we keep waiting around for the big moment to happen, it never happens. But you keep getting little wins, the big moment's going to happen. And I think it's okay to get those quick wins. I think we all need them. I think if you're in a bad place, mental health, and things aren't going your way, and things are going sideways, and you get that little win, it's really a good mood booster. And so look for your big wins, look for your little wins. You know they're out there. You know you've seen it, and just celebrate them. Yeah, drink your beer, have a podcast, do whatever makes you feel good. And if things get too rough on you, if it's too chaotic, and you just can't seem to pull yourself, you know, life coming at you at 20,000 different ways, maybe you need support. Maybe you need to ask your friend or talk to a friend or go see somebody to help you through that. And don't feel bad. Don't take it as a failure. We all get overwhelmed in our lives. And it's okay to ask for help. It's okay to say, hey, maybe I need to take a break, or maybe I need to look at this differently. Sometimes when you go to talk with a friend or somebody, maybe you just need a different opinion to look at things differently. And sometimes when you get that opinion, it'll just change your perspective. And so don't be afraid, or don't be closed minded that you're not willing to take some good advice from somebody. And so that's important to keep in mind. And just know that asking for help is not weakness. I've been through that many times and talked to you guys about that. Especially if you're military, right? If you're a veteran like I am, we're all used to in the military. You just push through it, right? You just push through, get the mission done, mission first, blah 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 blah, right? But you can't be pushing forever, because if you do, it kind of has a high cost on your life, and it can cause anxiety and more stress, and more stress maybe can damage your heart, where you have a heart attack or other things going on. So you don't just have to push through anymore, right? You're not in the military no more. And so if it takes you a couple extra days to get that task done, does it really matter? In the grand scheme of things, does it really matter? Of course, it doesn't matter at all, period. I'm going to text Lloyd. Come hither, my son, uh, because he wanted to come on and talk about the baseball game on Saturday, and that's what we're going to talk about next. So, you know, one things that to recap real quick, what we talked about tonight is, if you're super busy, it's okay to feel overwhelmed at times. You come up with a plan. You look for those micro moments where you can do breathing exercises. You can ground yourself. You can have gratitude about what's going on. You can have movement. You can go for a 10-minute walk in between tasks. You can just look at things differently. Protect your sleep. That's most important. Be sure to reset your mind and set boundaries as you're going through things, so that gives you limits and wins. And you know what? Do the brain dump before bed, right? And say that's so important, because sleep is going to really become important. You can put your phone on do not disturb. You can, look for these habits that are good habits. Maybe not anything that I listed, but yourself, and look into that. And then, of course, as always, you want to celebrate your small wins. And so, Mr. Bauman, number 37, has entered the room. He's going to slide the chair over here. I'm going to move over. And we're going to fill you in on the baseball update. Good evening. Thanks for watching Mental Health Warrior. We have now switched gears. We have Lord Michael Bauman, the famous baseball player, number 61.
Yep.
VIA 37, and he's going to give a quick update on the baseball game this weekend. You guys played very well. Played a lot of games.
We played like
2 games every day.
2 games.
Doubleheader. Doubleheader Friday, doubleheader Saturday, doubleheader Sunday.
No.
Huh?
What?
Played 6 games.
Yeah.
Say. So, what's the 2 things that finally happened to you in your games?
I stopped thinking too much when I'm batting.
Mm-hmm. And what happened?
I get home runs.
He did. And so, hey, Chris, we're going to cue up a video. And for those people who's going to watch this on Beats Across America Radio, you can go to my social media and see the video that we're getting ready to show. But this is Lloyd's second infield home run that he hit. And pay attention as he rounds the bases. Okay, you go ahead and play, Chris. We played this earlier and it worked, so hopefully it'll work today. And play. Here we go. Now, right before you hit the ball, watch how you grip the bat tighter. And I know you're getting ready to hit it. Yeah. So this is right after Lloyd hit a 3-run homer. And there's no one on base at the moment.
You got this, Lloyd.
Oh, strike 1. Did you see how you swung below it?
Yeah.
All right. Get ready. Now look how fast he's taking off. Yeah. Look at the catcher. He's like, where the heck did that boy come from? You were checking around the bases.
If it was like a second later, I would have gotten hit by the ball.
Yeah, I know, right? Just so you guys know, I did time that. Lloyd did make it around the bases in less than 12 seconds. He thinks he can do it faster.
It was 9 seconds.
So I think he can do it faster, huh?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. But it was a good experience. You had fun, right? You enjoyed it? Kind of stressful. It was pretty tired, though. It was a lot of games.
Yeah.
You weren't used to that.
Better than sleeping in the little army tents that they had.
Mm-hmm. And your dad cooked good food. Yep, they all enjoyed the thing. So we got a busy day tomorrow, huh?
Yep.
What's going on tomorrow?
We're moving into our new house.
You excited about that?
Yeah.
And so at the new house, I'm going to have Starlink. So I don't know if anybody of you use Starlink. I did help my brother hook it up a couple years ago at his house. But it's not really an Italian version. I got the things. But G-Con said, nicely done, Lloyd.
I can read.
You can read? Oh, bravo.
Yeah, I know.
You can read. Look at that, Lloyd.
What
That's good. Yeah. So one thing I did, as you guys know, just like in America, parents get busy and they can't attend the games. And for a lot of the Italian families, they couldn't come and see the game. And so I took it the initiative and become the media person for what's it, Caserta? What is it? The
Regia.
Regia?
Yeah.
Regia.
Regia.
Huh?
Regia.
Regia. Yeah, I'm tired. Regia. Anyway, Caserta Regia. And so all the game that Lloyd had, I live streamed it on Facebook. And so you can go out to my social media and see it. They're out there. But a lot of the families were very thankful that I did that. And Lloyd's first day of practice on Monday, they did come and thank me for that. And then they wanted to take us and have a pizza party. Maybe next Tuesday, they want to take us out and have pizza with us to thank us for doing that. I thought that was nice.
Yeah.
And so a lot of them enjoyed it. And then the other teams that we were playing, same situation. They found out that I was doing the Facebook Live, and so they wanted to follow me so their friends and relatives could watch the game. And that's probably something I'll continue. It'd be really cool if I could buy a really good drone
Ooh.
and like fly the drone over while the
Oh,
game's going on.
That would be.
We might have to get
nice.
high tech on this. We might have to step it up a
You
little
can
bit.
start miking up everybody.
I know, right? that would be fun though.
Yeah.
But they'll all be speaking in Italian.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
gonna suck.
But we don't understand a little bit of it, right? Yeah. Okay. We'll get that guy here. Thanks for the update. You can say bye again. Lasting words for the audience before you leave.
37.
37. They can't see you. Put your head in there. The camera's right there, you dork.
No, I can't see the camera.
Yeah. It's right there.
No, really? I thought it was up there.
No, it's right here.
Bye.
Kind of like your strike zone. Thanks for coming on, Lloyd. Appreciate it. So, Lloyd played baseball here on the base, and the season was very short. And I'm going to wrap this up real quick, but the coaches were volunteers, right? And so it was a very short season. Now Lloyd's on a no kidding legit team now with Caserta. The coach is from Cuba. He's taught many teams in Cuba, and so he's a legitimate coach. And Lloyd came off and bat, and he was very frustrated. I said, Lloyd, what's wrong? He's like, I can't believe he threw that strike. I was like, Lloyd, it was a strike. He says, no, it was right here. I said, Lloyd, that's a strike zone. And then I realized I never explained to Lloyd, and the coaches didn't, what the strike zone was. And so I told the coach, I said, hey, can you explain to Lloyd about the strike zone? And he did. And it wasn't, but the next time back, Lloyd started hitting home runs when he understood what the strike zone is. And it's not totally his fault, but they thought he knew that, and he didn't. But I guess some of the other kids didn't totally understand that. So, yes, I can't wait for him to achieve the 9 seconds around bases. I think he can do it. But it's really neat to see Lloyd, because Lloyd, like I said, never had a real coach. And so he has a lot of natural ability. And one thing that Coach Pedro was telling me that they look for in young kids when they're starting to play baseball is speed and how hard they can throw the ball. And Lloyd can throw the ball very hard. Now, he doesn't throw it properly, and they're trying to fix that. But he threw out a guy. They hit the ball in the center field. Of course, it wasn't where he could catch it. Of course, it became a ground ball. He picked it up and threw the guy out at second. And then when he's playing catcher, they're not the team that he's on is not used to him throwing the ball so fast. So he has those two skills, and he loves playing baseball. He just loves it. So it is going to be interesting to see him grow as a player. But hey, I want to thank everybody for tuning in. I want to thank you everybody for the support throughout the years. And I hope you guys have a great and wonderful week. Along with that, I wanted to talk about Visa Across America, that QR code there. You can scan that. And, for a little as $10, $15, $20, whatever you want, you can donate it. You can personalize your wreath. It's amazing. They're really gearing up before the holiday season. It's going to be right around the corner. And then, of course, I talked about it, Visa Across America Radio. We play this podcast at Fridays at 8 p.m. and Sundays at 10 p.m. Super easy to find. Just download the Visa Across America Radio app, number one. And two, if you still have the iHeartRadio app, the TuneIn app, or the Odyssey app, you just search for Reese. It still comes up that way. We did share the website to 10th Mountain Whiskey and Bourbon. Give them a look. See, you gave the code, I think it's like 10% on your order. So be sure and use that code VTT. And then, I talked about, Veterans Mortgage powered by Canopy Mortgage. When I was talking about the loan assumption and things that was going on. Maybe you have questions like that. give them a call, scan that QR code. They'd be more than happy to help you. And of course, if you still have to do any being stationed in Hawaii, PCS Paradise will help you out. I just forgot. I had a brain cramp there for a second. But PCS Paradise will help you out in finding that dream home while you're in Hawaii. Hey, I just want to tell you all out there, you're doing a great job. You're killing it. Keep it up. I look forward to you guys next week. I'm going to be in our new house. I'll be hooked up on Starlink. I'll let you know how that goes. I have not used Starlink yet. And so I'm super excited to get that going. But like I always say, we are brothers and sisters keepers out there. And so let's keep a close eye on each other. And if you had that buddy or that friend that kind of went quiet or something changed in life, shoot them a text, give them a call, see how they're doing. And with that, you guys have a great, wonderful week. And we'll see you next Wednesday. Take care.